actually.
Please make your first selection. Unfortunately, for those of you watching at home, you can't see the board where the categories are. You'll just have to listen carefully.
Can I turn it?
I tried.
Oh.
It won't go all the way over without messing everything up. What we're doing today is a review of some of the things about the Civil War. It is not going to cover everything that's going to be on the test, and not everything that we mentioned today necessarily will be on the test. So you still need to study your notes. That's the important thing. This is just kind of a fun way to review some of the things that we have studied. All right, so what color? Orange, please make the first selection. We're looking at Prelude to War. It's helpful if you listen to instructions before we start. Prelude to War is Civil Jeopardy in many of those categories.
Important locations 5.
Important locations for 5. The answer is the section of the United States that became a leader in manufacturing and commerce. Purple.
What is the North?
Correct, for 5 points. Purple, select.
I remember. I'll have proper heading for subject.
You'll have what?
He said I'll have proper heading for subjects.
Important locations for 10.
With my God, I don't know.
You're a comedian. All right, give me that again.
Important locations for 10.
Important locations for 10. The answer is capital of the Confederacy after all. Purple.
What is Richmond?
That is correct. After all the states, southern states that left the Union.
I said Richmond.
That was 10 points. Purple, select again.
Oh no, that's not good.
Background factors for 15. We're gonna lose those.
Background factors for 15. The answer is network of secret routes taken by escaped slaves through the North. Okay, that is correct. 15 points, and that is the only question. All right, take select.
Important people for 10.
The important people for 10. The answer is people who work for others against their will. Green.
What are slaves?
Correct. 10 points. Select again.
Background factors for 10.
Background factors for 10. The answer is major cause of the Civil War. Yellow.
What is the North boycotting the South?
That is incorrect. Minus 10. Green.
A state's ability that voluntarily joined the Union to secede.
That is correct. 10 points. Green, select again.
Background factors 5.
And the answer is major crop of the southern states prior. Purple.
What is cotton?
That is correct.
Important people for 5.
Isn't all the background factors taken out?
Yeah, we did 10.
No, because there are more than one question.
There's one 10-point question under background factors. What was the selection again?
Important people for 5.
Important people for 5. The answer is the man who invented the cotton gin, making purple.
Who is Eli Whitney?
Correct, making slavery more profitable.
Yeah.
Select again.
Important people for 10.
The answer is man elected president in 1860. Purple.
Who is Abraham Lincoln?
Correct. 10 points. Select again.
Important people for 15.
Ooh, okay.
The answer is black man who had his case heard by the Supreme Court. Purple.
Who is Dred Scott?
Correct. 15 points. Select again.
Important people for 15.
Oh, okay.
The answer is debated Lincoln in the Illinois senatorial race. Debated Lincoln in the Illinois senatorial race. Time's up. That was Stephen Douglas. All right, Purple, you still have control of the board.
Important locations for 5.
Important locations for 5. The first southern state to leave the Union. Green.
South Carolina.
Question?
What is South Carolina?
Correct. For 5 points. Green, select again.
Important locations for 10.
The answer is area that became a free state when Missouri became a slave state in 1820.
What is Kansas?
That is incorrect.
What is Maryland?
That is incorrect. Minus 10.
What's France?
Maryland was one of the first. The answer is what is Maine?
Yeah, we were
Maine
right.
was part of Massachusetts, and they created a new state out of part of Massachusetts. All right, who was the one that selected that? Green, is it Green? Green, select again.
Important locations for 10.
The answer is national legislative body whose balance of power was a source of concern for both the North and the South. National legislative body whose balance of power was a source of concern. Purple.
Where's the House of Representatives?
That is incorrect. Minus 10.
Too late now. Can we go?
No. Only guess once.
We have.
The answer is the Senate. It is the Senate.
Alright, we have 4.
All right, Green, I think you're still the last one.
Important locations for 15.
Important locations for 15. I do not have any, sorry. We have no 15-point questions.
Didn't you say that? You said something.
So select again.
Important people for 10.
Important people for 10. The answer is man who became president of the Confederacy. Purple.
Who's Jefferson Davis?
Correct.
Okay.
Select again, purple.
Important people for 5.
Important people for 5. Famous congressman from Kentucky nicknamed the Great Compromiser. Famous congressman from Kentucky nicknamed the Great Compromiser.
Who's George Patton?
Time's up. Who was Henry Clay? Who was Henry Clay? Select again.
Important people for 5.
The answer is great politician from South Carolina who supported states' rights. He also had served as vice president and as senator. Great politician from South Carolina. The answer is John C. Calhoun. Select again.
Important people for 5.
The answer is people who believe that slavery should be wiped out immediately. Purple.
Who are abolitionists?
Correct. 5 points. Select again.
Background ideas for 5.
Background ideas for 5. The answer is prohibition of slave or elimination of slavery. Purple.
What is emancipation?
Let's see. Let me check that.
Time's up. We take it.
Yeah, okay. That works. Oh, it's a toss-up. No, we won't do that. All right, purple continue.
Important people for 15.
Important people for 15. The answer is New England orator who gave the 7th of March speech and who supported a strong union. New England orator who gave the 7th of March speech and who supported a strong union. considered one of the greatest orators in American history. However, he did not write a dictionary. Blue.
Webster.
First name I need.
Daniel Webster.
Question?
What is
Who is Daniel Webster?
What?
15 points. Who's on the board? Who's select again? Important people for what?
Important people for 10.
For 10. The answer is author of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Pink. That is correct.
Who was that again?
10 points. Harriet Beecher Stowe.
White woman.
Select again, Pink. Background factors for 10. The answer is, and that completes that whole category. Political party formed in 1854 to combat the spread of slavery. Yellow.
Who are the Whigs?
That is incorrect. Green.
Who are the Republicans?
That's correct. The Republican Party.
So basically, Democrats are slave supporters.
All right. Select again.
Hey, Hayden.
Green. Did you select? You got that point, right?
Yeah.
So select.
Background ideas for 15.
The answer is a slave on the run. Purple.
What is a runaway slave?
No.
How much is that for?
A slave on the
Yeah, they are, but there's a particular term for that.
I mean, wait, how much was that for?
5.
Oh, alright.
It's 15. It's 15. No, what? No, it's 15. Sorry. Orange. Fugitive is correct. 15 points. All right, orange. Select again.
You gotta do 50.
Important people for 5.
Important people for 5. That completes the 5 points in that category. Man who led an attack on Harper's Ferry to get guns for a slave uprising. Purple.
Who's John Brown?
That is correct. John Brown.
I mean, that's pictures. Weird.
All right, purple. Select again.
Inform people for 10.
Important people for 10. This is the last question in single Jeopardy and the last of the 10-point questions. Anyway, black woman who helped many slaves escape. Pink. That is correct. 10 points. All right, that completes single Jeopardy. With each of the people who are keeping score, they'll have to put your score underneath your phone.
So,
It's white.
yeah.
Wait,
I mean, I guess there were the.
I wrote 75, and then I wrote 17, and
Quiet, please. I'm a little surprised that Pink has the lead with 75.
That's not.
I don't do
Oh,
well
that's a
writing
2.
That's a
I'm
bad.
surprised they have the same.
Okay, so there's a reason why I was surprised. It's not true. Purple is in the lead with 50. They've probably lost more points than most other teams have gained.
C.
So we've
The
gotten
process of getting to 50.
right.
Followed by green with 35, pink with 25, or blue with 15, orange with 5, and yellow with negative 20. Since yellow is in last place, you get to begin double jeopardy.
All right, let's go.
Yellow, make the first selection.
Yellow.
Sites of war for 10.
Sites of warfare for 10. Capital of the Union.
What is Washington D.C.?
That is correct. 10 points.
We got 6.
Sites of warfare for 10.
The answer is railroad center in Georgia that was destroyed by Sherman's troops. Railroad center, green.
What is Atlanta?
That is correct. 10 points.
I was kidding when I said that.
Select green.
Terms of war for 20.
Terms of the war for 20. The answer is closing of southern ports so supplies could not be shipped in or out. Orange.
What is the Anaconda plan?
Okay, I guess we'll take that. That's not the exact term
Runaway site?
used there. What's the term? Just tell me the term.
Blockade.
Blockade.
Yeah, we should drive really fast and then try to shoot it.
Should I?
All right, select, please.
Factors of war for 10.
Factors related to the war for 10. The answer is executive order that freed the slaves in rebel territory.
What is the Emancipation Proclamation?
Correct, for 10 points, and that completes that. Good stuff. Joe, would you raise the hand in terms of war, please? Thank you. All right, select again. Come on.
Sites of war for 10.
Sites of warfare for 10. The answer is theater in which Lincoln was assassinated. Purple.
What is the 4th theater?
That is correct for 10 points. Select purple.
Sites of warfare for 10.
The answer is river the North needed to control to split the South. Green.
What is Mississippi River?
That is correct for 10 points.
I know.
Green, select.
Terms of war 30.
Okay.
Terms of war for 30. The answer is the Union plan for strangling the South. Blue.
What is the Anaconda plan?
That is correct.
Wait, how was
30. All right, blue, select again.
Terms of war for 30.
Terms of war for 30 again, and that completes the 30 points in that category. Long period of warfare in which several cities were surrounded by the Union Army and starved into surrender. Blue. That is a siege, is correct. 30 points. And now blue has moved up into contention, I think, probably. Not having an electronic scoreboard, we just guessing. All right, blue, select again.
You got this. Like, no.
There is one
Cheater.
question left under terms of war. There's a 10-point question. I think I told you what I said previously. What's your selection?
Sites of warfare for 10.
Sites of warfare for 10. The answer is, and that completes the 10 points on sites of warfare. River on which Vicksburg is located. Green.
What is Mississippi River?
Correct. 10 points. Select green.
Sites of warfare
For what?
20.
The answer is site of the first major battle of the Civil War. Blue.
What is Bull Run?
Louder.
What is Bull Run?
That is correct. The second battle was later fought there as well. Bull Run or Manassas. Blue, select again.
Sites of warfare for 20.
Get ready.
The answer is Maryland City, where Lee's troops were stopped during the Southern invasion of the North in 1862, resulting in the bloodiest day of the war. Purple.
What is Antietam?
Correct. Purple, select.
Sites of warfare for 30.
The answer is area that refused to secede with Virginia and eventually became a separate state. Yellow.
West Virginia.
Question?
What is West Virginia?
Correct, for 30 points.
Yeah, we're at the negatives.
That was hard.
By the way, I didn't point this out, I don't think, when we were going through the material, but does it somehow seem a bit hypocritical for the Union to say the southern states can't secede from the Union, but a portion of Virginia can secede from Virginia to form West Virginia? You see? That seems kind of hypocritical to say, you can't leave, but we're gonna let a part leave, a part of you. All right, is that yellow?
Yeah.
Select.
Sites of warfare for 30.
The answer is European nation to which the South looked for help. Green.
What is England?
That is correct. In winning the war, 30 points. Select green.
Americans at war for 10.
Americans at war for 10. The answer is President of the United States during the Civil War. Yellow.
Who is Abraham Lincoln?
That is correct. 10 points.
George Washington.
Please select. Yellow.
Terms of war 10.
What?
Terms of war.
Terms of war for 10. The answer is, and that's the last 10-point question we have there. What Maryland, Kentucky, Missouri, and Delaware were called during purple?
What are border states?
Correct, 10 points. And that completes everything under terms of war. Select purple.
Americans at war for 30.
And the answer is man who ran for the presidency against Lincoln in 1864. Purple.
Who is McClellan?
That is correct. McClellan. 30 points. Go ahead.
No, and then I changed it to
Americans at war for 10.
And the answer is major military leader of the Southern Forces. Purple.
Who's Robert E. Lee?
Correct. 10 points. Select again.
And then change it to McClellan.
Americans at war for 20.
For 20. The answer is Robert E. Lee's best general. Lee called him his right. Pink. Pardon me? That is incorrect. Minus 20. Blue.
It was Stonewall Jackson.
Correct. Lee called him his right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
well, 140.
No, 20 points. Blue, select again.
Americans at war for 30.
Americans at war for 30. The answer is Lincoln's Secretary of War, whom Andrew Johnson tried to remove from office. Blue.
Just say it.
Go ahead. I don't know.
Still can.
Whatever his name was.
Time is up. That's negative 30.
Let's go.
Yeah, I told you guys to say it.
I didn't know what you were saying.
Okay, thanks.
Still on.
Anybody else?
It's stuck on blue.
Whoops, sorry. Yellow.
Who is
I don't know
Jeb
what they said.
Stewart?
Negative 30 on naming a Confederate general as
That's
the
what I said, I don't
Secretary of War.
Oh.
This guy who made Jemima.
Was he the cowboy that?
Anybody?
No, because
I was hoping some point was
Yeah,
my
they
mind,
did.
well, I'm like, I can't. My mind is not coming up with his name either. I think of Secretary of State Seward, Secretary of War, Stanton. Secretary of War was Stanton.
It was close.
Stanton's closer to Jeff Stewart. You know what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, who's the last correct question? Blue? Blue? Blue, select again.
Didn't know.
Blue.
What?
We'll give it to somebody else.
Select your question.
Americans at war for 20.
And the answer is the Northern general most responsible for taking the Mississippi River. Purple.
Who's USS Grant?
Right. For 20 points. Select again. Purple.
Americans at war for 10.
The answer is Northern general who received the Confederate surrender at Appomattox Courthouse. Pink. Correct. 10 points. Select again.
Thanks, Tom.
And the answer is leader of the Union Army at Gettysburg. Pink, purple.
Who's Meade?
Correct. George Meade.
What?
30 points. Select again, purple.
Factors of
Meade.
War for 10.
What was that? Factors of war?
Yeah.
For 10. Sorry, I don't have any more 10 pointers.
20 for 10.
For 20. Constitutional amendment that freed the slaves. Pink. That is incorrect. Ah, looks like I get this all. Okay, is anybody else want to ring in now? The constitutional amendment that freed the slaves. Somebody? 13th Amendment. All right, who was the last correct question?
American Civil War for 10.
Let's,
Factors of War for 10.
factors for 10 as well.
I would American Civil War for 10.
Americans at War for 10. The answer is assassin of President Lincoln. Purple.
Who's John Wilkes Booth?
Correct, 10 points. Select again.
Americans at War for 20.
The answer is Northern general who made a march to the sea, destroying 3 cities. Yellow.
Who was Sherman?
Correct.
Brady.
For 20 points. Select again. Come on.
Oh, sites of warfare for 20.
The answer is battle that stopped the Confederate invasion of Pennsylvania. Green.
What is Gettysburg?
Correct. For 20 points. Select again, Green.
Sites of warfare for 30.
The answer is coastal city whose capture Sherman presented to Lincoln as a Christmas present. Coastal city whose capture Sherman presented to Lincoln as a Christmas present. Purple.
What is Charleston?
That is incorrect.
First one.
He couldn't see anything.
We're up.
Pink. That is incorrect. That was 20. I'm sorry, 30. That was 30. The answer is Savannah.
Where's that? George.
All right, who selected that? All right, select again, Green.
Joking.
Factors of war for 30.
Factors of war for 30. The Southern ironclad that fought the Monitor. And I want the Confederate name for it. Purple.
What was the Virginia?
That is correct. 30 points, that's all the 30 pointers under factors. All right, purple, select again. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the end of Double Jeopardy. So go up and change your score to the present. No.
200, Caleb.
You literally just know it. You haven't even listened to it. Yeah, you do. Look at so pretty. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You wasted so many.
Hayden, go put up your score, bro.
We did.
Okay, while we're doing that,
Oh, we're being.
you may come and put your buzzers back in the carton. Put them upside down.
Oh, yes, we did come up.
Yes.
Get smacked pink.
We're too good at history.
All right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have each of your teams on a piece of paper write down how much you're willing to wager on a final Jeopardy question. One question.
And we have the question first.
No,
No.
it's not the Jeopardy.
Have you ever watched Jeopardy? No.
Yeah, they.
No. You put
No,
the
you
number
get it
down
after.
first, then you write your answer to the question when I give it to you.
So you don't know how hard or how easy.
Can you wager more
The categories.
No.
No. No.
Can you
Yeah,
go
because it would
negative?
send you to the negative.
You want to wager
Why don't we wager like
Kate is not able to participate because they have 0
Because they can.
points. You can only wager what you have.
The
The category is potpourri, which means it could be anything.
Can't you go to negatives?
No, not, but not final jeopardy.
Girls betting to go to.
Okay, got your wagers? Write it down.
Write it down.
If we double.
Anybody does not have their wager written down?
No, I said you
We're gonna beat it somewhere though.
All right, you'll have 1 minute to write your question to this final Jeopardy answer. But before I'm going to make this totally random. Let's see. Jill, since you're our newest student, I want you to pick a number between 97 and 110.
97
Between 97 and 110.
99.
All right, the final Jeopardy answer is the side that had an advantage in railroads. The side that had an advantage in railroads. I've asked you to put those in the cart already. I think we're gonna shorten it to 30 seconds instead of a minute. You don't need a full minute for that one. Everyone should get that one. Yeah, we should have the music show. Okay, time is up. We'll start with yellow. See if yellow has the correct answer. Yellow, hold up your answer. The Union, that is correct. And how much is your wager? 10 points. So a total of 20.
Can you see them?
We're low-key not last.
Okay, next we go to Orange. Orange, what is your answer? The North, and you wagered how much? 10. So add 10 to Orange's score. Go ahead and add them up, Haley, while you're there. Thank you. Next we go to Blue. Blue, what is your answer?
North.
The North, and how much did you wager? 50.
Why?
135.
Oh, wait,
And next we come to Green. Currently, before this was in second place, now they're in third. Green, what is your answer?
North.
And how much did you wager? 150, they wagered it all. Brings them up to
First.
230.
Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Now Purple. First of all, did they get the correct answer? If they did not, they lose.
We did the
Final Jeopardy. Your final answer is the North. The North, and they wagered 25. That gives them 235. Which has wins by 5 points. All right, come up. Purple, you get this.
I want to kiss from Mr. Henry.
Can you? No, but I was asking you, I need to.
She did take
Like, I just want you to read my outline. It's really small, like it only takes up a page.
I'm not even.
Yeah, we did. We should have one. Yeah, just do it.
If you're not first place.